Batman's been my favorite comic book since I was a child, and it's like secretly been my forever dream to be Batman.
Blake Lively's pick for the DCU's Batman is actually the best choice for the role for three reasons. So when I was on break, I actually came across this and I posted about it on X. If you're not following me on X, make sure you guys go into the description box. I have my it's Real Melanie King. I'm Real Melanie King everywhere. I think now on every social platform. So on TikTok, on here, on Facebook, everywhere, I'm Real Melanie King. But when I came across this, I was very confused because like what pull would Blake Lively have for Batman for DCU? Well, let me show you, and then I'm going to give you more details because this has gone under the radar and I haven't really heard anyone talk about it. I'm sure, like the fandom for Batman and DCU and all of that, they have been talking about this, but I feel as though people who have been invested in this whole Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni miss this completely. So let me show this. So I posted this. Did y'all know Blake Lively pushed for James Gunn to cast Brandon Sklenar as the next Batman in the upcoming film The Brave and the Bold? This was back in November before she filed her complaint. We've been trying to figure out what Brandon could have gotten out of backing up her claims in December. Coincidence? Stay tuned for more details. Well, this all goes back into a post in which Blake Lively commented, "So happy for you, my friend." This was under one of Brandon Sklenar's posts. "So happy for you, my friend. They're lucky to have you. Also, I'm seeing this Batman chatter. I volunteer yourself as tribute. At James Gunn knows how to give the people what they need. And this they need." And then he replies with a heart, like I guess that's supposed to be the Batman wings, and a happy face. So getting into this, so she was pushing for him. We're not even getting, I may touch a little bit on James Gunn and who he is. If you guys do not know, child, okay, he was a couple years ago, it was basically people went through his old tweets and found all of this stuff that is I say Geppetto, Pedialyte, where he is talking about children and boys and sexual stuff. It is, I don't even know if I can show it all, but he was basically, he was like pushed out. I think he was doing, what's that movie? I cannot think right now where, oh gosh, where it's, the girl, it has the green body. It's a huge movie and the raccoon talks and all of that. So he directed that and then he was like kicked off, I think the second one or third one, because all of this was found out. Then the cast was all supporting him, even though it was some really disturbing and dark pedophile things that he was posting about. Very similar to Chrissy Teigen, if you know about her and her obsession with children and sexualizing them. This seems to be the same thing, but I think it's even worse. But now he's back and he's directing the next Batman. I guess he's such a good director. It doesn't matter about any of that. Those are just jokes because, it's normal to make jokes about graping boys, little boys, children, not teens, but children, okay, young children. It's funny, like this is normal to talk about that stuff. There was come on, you people are reading too much into it. Sure, because yeah. But anyway, so she's really excited. And she is a Woody Allen supporter, even though she wants to be believed and women should be believe all women, believe what she's saying about Justin Baldoni. But yet she's like, she loves Woody Allen, even though he married his own daughter. And then his actual daughter also talks about his other daughter, how he violated her brutally as a little girl, as a very little girl. and he has been known as a pedophile for many years. But she loves him, she supports him, and doesn't believe all women when it comes to his child, but yet we should believe her. And of course, she doesn't mind children being violated and the things that James Gunn has said. Of course not. Like, she's buddy buddy. Look at this. James Gunn, she's like reaching out to him directly, like she knows him. So, getting back into what could be going on. I had no idea. Actually, I'm going to share my tab again. Um there is all this fan art that started to come out, and all of these chatter and forums that Brandon Sklenar should be the next Batman. I do not think any of this is organic. I think the PR people, get, little art people to start pushing that stuff out there. I think, his management company, WME, or whoever it could have been, they get the forums to start taking. I think he would be a great Batman, and that's how they push the fandom. I think a lot of people think that it's just, oh, just randomly Brandon Sklenar, who nobody had heard of, nobody's seen, nobody's paid attention to. He's at the top of the list of who should be playing Batman. I mean, people didn't even know who he was until It Ends With Us. Maybe you saw him in something obscure. Now people talk about 1923. I don't even think it gets that many views. I mean, it may be a good show, but that has come out after the whole It Ends With Us saga. So he was not a well-known name. It makes no sense to pull him out of randomness, out of the thousands of actors that are out there, that he would go there and that was just natural and organic. You guys have to understand how PR plays. They even work in these forums, especially if you're on Reddit. And if you go into that, there's people who have exposed that. So, but anyway, so I saw this art, and this is supposed to be Brandon Sklenar. To me, this could be any generic person. Like, can you tell that's Brandon Sklenar? To me, it looks like a bunch of people, but the first person I thought was Ben Affleck again. Like, I really thought this was Ben Affleck, the same jaw, whatever. I don't see how anyone can tell who that is. But of course, they have all this coming out, and so I was posting about it. But getting back into it, all right. Blake Lively. Oh, let me share this tab. Sorry. Blake Lively has revealed, and I'm gonna make it bigger. So you guys, I always like to make it as big as possible so you can read at least somewhat along with me. Blake Lively has revealed that a fan favorite Batman pick is her choice to play Bruce Wayne in the new DC universe, and the actor could make for the perfect version of the Dark Knight. Rumors have been flying around lately that Batman's future on the big screen, after Ben Affleck played a veteran version of Bruce Wayne in the old DCEU, the character will be recast for James Gunn's DC universe. The casting process for the next Bruce Wayne is said to be quite some time away, waiting for Batman's The Brave and the Bold movie script to be ready. However, a recent wave of rumors has claimed that DC Studios could be looking at Robert Pattinson's Batman joining the DCU. As it currently stands, the Batman universe is an Elseworld franchise existing separately from the DCU. Previously, Gunn said that Pattinson's Batman would not cross over, though the director and the Batman franchise creator Matt Reeves were seemingly not as close to that idea in recent comments. That said, the Brave and the Bold director, Andy Muschietti, shot down the rumors, and that makes it possible for fan favorite candidates, including Blake Lively's, to play Batman in future DC movies. Okay, and I think it looks like it's like they skipped to another one. It's weird. It's like, why do you have the heading again? The Marvel actress suggests one of her co-stars for Batman. The Green Lantern movie, where her and Ryan Reynolds had the affair while he was cheating on Scarlett Johansson, his wife at the time, and then they broke up immediately. Then you were with her like right the next day. Guys, that's a whole thing where they were cheating the whole time, and Scarlett Johansson was done and was not going to tolerate it anymore. And this is one reason, this is a deep dive I'm putting together, that I believe if you look at their interactions, how Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds interact, even online, how he's always putting her down. I mean, any husband who does the things that he does, even publicly, is just I don't see how any woman could tolerate it. And when you see it in the way he treats her and the things that are said, and how he's married to Hugh Jackman, he's sees himself really with him, and they're in a marriage, and the way things have happened, the way when you look at it closely, it is my belief that he actually hates Blake Lively, that he actually married her as a way to get back at Scarlett Johansson. I had cheated on her, and then it was like he was going to marry her, because when you're a narcissist, when you're a psychopath, you don't really think through things. You just, you know, when you have an object of your revenge, an object of your hate, and hating her because she didn't forgive him or accept him back, Scarlett Johansson, that he then married Blake Lively, got with her, and by all people's accounts, she is a downgrade, whether you want to talk about downgrade physically, but I'm talking about just a downgrade in general. Like, Scarlett Johansson has gone on to be a much bigger star than she is, and we know that he dated around, he kept monkey branching to different women who were stars, trying to align himself to be like a power couple. There's a long history documenting this, going way back even to Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Melissa Joan Hart. I've talked about it somewhat, but again, that's a deep dive. But I believe that when you look at that whole relationship, you can see that he absolutely cannot stand her. He doesn't seem to be able to stand his kids and his children. And it's just so toxic between them. But again, we'll get back into that. I know I keep saying it, but it's a lot, guys. Blake Lively previously appeared in a DC movie playing Carol Ferris in Green Lantern when she was going behind Scarlett Johansson's back and busting down Ryan Reynolds. While the movie was far from a hit, she met and got into a relationship with Ryan Reynolds through the DC flick, appearing in 2024's Deadpool and Wolverine as Ladypool. But she was not in that movie, they say. They said that wasn't actually her, it was someone else. So I don't get it. A multiverse variant of her husband's Marvel character. Let's not forget Nice Pool. Having a relationship with superhero films, Lively has offered a relationship with superhero films. She was in that box office tank Green Lantern, and then Ryan Reynolds her husband plays Deadpool and playing Ladypool, and that whole thing was actually to bully Justin Baldoni. It's part of the lawsuit that is going on, the part of why both of them are getting canceled and everyone hates them. But she knows comic book heroes. Okay, so her opinion really matters, guys. It really matters. Having a relationship with superhero films, Lively has offered her input about Batman's DCU recasting, and the actress wants to see a fan favorite star get the role. After working with Brandon Sklenar in It Ends With Us, Lively thinks the actor is the best choice for Batman. How? Nothing about that would say Batman. Like, nothing. It makes me wonder, Ryan Reynolds, who is heavily in superhero movie and Deadpool, Wolverine with Hugh Jackman, his husband, all of that seems to me that may be the connection. And then you have Ty WME and all of that, because she really has no pull. She has no pull. This is why she tried to hijack his movie, because no one else would give her the time of day, even though she has her own production company. And that's my next video. I'm going to get into all of her failed projects in her production company and why she needed to steal and take a movie from Justin Baldoni. She's a nobody, but the person who is a somebody is Ryan Reynolds. Lively, has supported the fan favorite DCU's Batman on Instagram via blah, blah, blah. Blake Lively told her co-star that she had seen the Batman chatter about him playing The Dark Knight online and that she volunteered him for the role. Lively also tagged DC Studios creative chief James Gunn, commenting on how Gunn knows how to give fans what they want, and Sklenar's casting as Batman was something people needed. Sklenar has become a fan favorite Batman choice for months before Lively endorsed him for the role, but her support shines a spotlight on him. Again, it makes no sense that Brandon Sklenar was just picked for this. While Lively suggests Sklenar should play the DCU version of Batman, the It Ends With Us actor replied using a few emojis, including that of the bat. That is not the only time the actor has commented on DC fans' desire for him to play Bruce Wayne. As noted by Twitter user blah blah blah, the actor like comments about Gunn casting him as DC's new Batman in May of 2024. Sklenar even shared fan art of himself as the DCU Batman. In the art, the actor wore Batman's classic blue and gray suit from the DC comics. In the most recent chapter in the Brandon Sklenar DCU Batman casting saga came from another fan art as January began. Sklenar commented on his possible Batman casting by using DCR fan art of himself as the Dark Knight yet again. However, the actor took a different path from the one he had before. Instead of sharing the post with no captions, he did in the past. The actor commented on fan art of him as Batman saying, "I approve." While DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn often responds to casting trends online, he has never commented on Sklenar as Batman. Okay, so this goes into why he would be great and all of that. And there's more information I could get into. There's, people talking about it. I'm going to go back on. Okay, it's like people talk about why he would be good, why he wouldn't be good. They don't understand where he came from. Why is all of a sudden he's been pushed? No one ever noticed him before. But it makes me think, when she filed her complaint in December, and we already know that it had to be coordinated. I think no one's ever thought, like, how did they all just on the same, right after she posts, this was filed in the Me Too article came out, the New York Times, all of the cast, his podcast co-host, all of them rallied around Blake Lively. My thinking, and again, this is just speculation, but I'm thinking they've had to have like team meetings about this. Like, it was coordinated. She had to make sure people would back her up. No one would speak out on his side. There's been it was reported that she took them all to dinner and was excluding Justin Baldoni from a lot of things, but she would have the cast with her. She would try to get them all on her side. And so think about it. They had to be having team meetings. Were there group chats about this? Because how could you coordinate all of this, all of the other cast members to do this behind the director's back, behind the producer's back? So this is why this is important. We've got to start to understand what was in it for all of them, not just proximity to Blake, but what was promised. Think people have reported about how Colleen Hoover, it looks like she was going to try to get her rights to her movie back, the sequel. She even talked about it. Blake Lively was buttering her up, and it's just like, would you be in the next movie? And she's like, well, I'll follow. If Colleen has the rights to her the sequel, I'll go with her anywhere. I'm paraphrasing it, but she couldn't have had it because Justin Baldoni had owned it, like, I think for 5 years at that point. So none of it's making sense. But when you add it all up, what did Brandon Sklenar get out of this? Like, what exactly happened? Was it proximity to the Ryan Reynolds? Did he promise something? Him wanting to play Batman? And even though it's not the same universe, it's all the same power people in Hollywood, right? So he has pull to get that done. And so I want to investigate it more. I'll be curious to see what ends up happening. And even, Brandon Sklenar has even done interviews about this. He's talked about it. I'll play this really quickly. Oops, I'm sharing it. Let me play it for you guys.
Batman's been my favorite comic book since I was a child, and it's like secretly been my forever dream to be Batman. Like, that's not something you want to like say too much, because you're like, oh, okay.
And there's this vacancy.
Batman's been my favorite comic book since I was a child, and it's like secretly been my forever dream to be Batman. Like, that's not something you want to like say too much, because you're like, oh, okay.
And there's this vacancy right now for the role of Batman in James Gunn's new DC universe. And we know you approve of the fan casting. What is it about that character that you love so much?
I started seeing all this fan art and I was like, oh, damn, like this, I like this. This kind of makes sense. It kind of makes a lot of sense. It's also kind of parallels to Spencer Dutton. Like there's a lot of parallels between these types of men. And yeah, I just think I would crush that role.
Fans? Who is a fan of Brandon Sklenar? Like, and I'm not trying to put him down, but like, to me, he's a simp, and he went against another man to do a fake Me Too and read, her complaint, read the article, and really was on her side. Now he's backtracked and he's just like, I'm not team anybody. I'm for it ends with us. I just want that successful. It's nothing worse than a weak male simp that turns and will support the false allegations of another man. But we know how Hollywood works, and I don't have anything against Brandon Sklenar personally. I could maybe see him as Batman. I don't personally find him, to be so great. I say it's a deep voice and all that. But there's a lot of guys that are like that I could see that would make a great Batman. And he really, again, he's not had this illustrious career that he would lead a movie as big as Batman. Like, I don't know. Like, and he's just like, oh, I saw fan art and I really got behind it. Who? What? It's PR. Just the same way we see these articles that come out about Blake Lively and Taylor Swift and all. It's all PR. So they're just playing games. Like, this is not organic in any way. And he is not an honest person. He is not an honest man at all. So him even saying this, if you notice, he looks down a lot when he's talking. It's like he's like trying to remember what to say. It's like he's just a liar. He comes across as nonchalant and very masculine and all of that and laid back. And so you can be thrown off about it, but he's really just a liar. Okay. And he's willing to Me Too another man just so that he can move up in the hierarchy of Hollywood. And to me, you're a snake in the grass. So I don't see how none of it makes sense. But guys, leave a comment. Make sure you're still subscribed. Again, notifications get turned off when a person's been away. So I hadn't been posting for 2 weeks, but I'm back now. So make sure you subscribe on all of my platforms, especially on X and TikTok and here on YouTube. And I will see you guys on the next one.